Hey everybody, this is Russ. I'm here with Thomas today. Thomas is going to be showing you how to get your website up and running in no time flat. Me, I'm just here to make sure he doesn't miss anything. Thomas?
Thank you, Russ. I'm going to start in the tutorial mode here because that's the mode that you will start in when you first get to your admin area. The tutorial mode is this pop-up and it tells you step by step what you need to do to get going. I also want to point out that we have a video on the home page. I'm going to show that by closing the tutorial mode for a moment, showing the video, and when you start the video, I want to point out the YouTube link. I encourage you to use this YouTube link because it opens the video in a second window. That way you can stop and start the video, and as the video plays, you can do the tasks on another screen. Having said that, I'm going to go back and turn on the tutorial mode. You'll see the tutorial is back, and the first step that it wants me to do is go to My Account. I click the button. On the My Account, the tutorial mode is still enabled. To disable this tutorial mode, it's as simple as closing, disabling the tutorial mode, and choosing OK. Now those pop-ups would be gone. For the purposes of this training session, though, I want to re-enable the tutorial so that you can see how they interact. On the account information, we start by choosing Edit. If there is anything wrong in the account information, you can change it by going through these tabs. You can go through each and every tab without hitting save until you've got the information on all of them done. I wanted to point out also that the tutorial mode changes as I change each tab to keep you informed about what you can change and what goes in there. When you've got this all correct, you hit save. Notice the tutorial mode gives you a nice little congratulations. The next step is users. Our system allows you to create as many users as you wish. The users can be limited to any area that you wish, and they can be given read, write, and delete permissions. To do that, you click on the Add New, you fill out the form with the user's information, give them a password, then go to the Permissions tab and choose whether or not you want them to read, write, or delete in each of the individual categories. Read allows them to see the items on screen. Write means they can edit and save. Delete means they can delete from those items. It's that simple. The next step is the activity log. The activity log is simply a log of who has done what and when on your system. Currently, we only keep the most important of items logged. We do not log everything. The invoices, this is the area where you will find what you billed and why. Now we come to the fun part, the website. This is the only area in the admin area where I start from the bottom and work my way up to the top. I do that because all of these items, music, settings, social media, portfolio, and pages, are used to build your layout. The reason the layouts and pages are at the top, though, is because those are the two you will use the most often when you're in the admin area. My music. When we say music, it can be any MP3 file, okay? This can be a voiceover or music. I do need to point out, though, that the legal ramifications. We are not the music police, but please do not use copyrighted music. We have royalty-free music, and I'll show you how to get to that when we get to the layouts. This area is for your own recordings only. Settings. For the most part, you do not need to change any of these settings, but there's some items in here that you may find useful. To edit these settings, simply click on the Edit button. Right-click protected. When this is checked, that means nobody will be able to right-click on your website and save anything. The menu for a right-click will be totally gone. The slideshow time transitions and view time are for overriding our default slideshow times. Custom colors are very useful when you want a custom color that you're going to use for text throughout your site pages. I'm going to add one in here just so we can see how it works later. The Google reCAPTCHA key, if you have a Google reCAPTCHA key, this is where you would enter it. If you don't have one yet and need one, this is where you would add it. The Google reCAPTCHA key is a form protector so that your forms don't get spammed. Google Analytics key. The Google Analytics key is a way to track visitors to your site. This is handled by Google, but you need the key in our system so that Google can track all that traffic. If you don't have one or need help with it, it's right here. Music. This is just the initial volume for when your website first starts so that your client can hear the music. You can set the different volumes. I generally set it to medium. Portfolio. Your portfolios are examples of your work, and by default, there are 3 different styles that you can choose from. I like the collage, so that is the one our system defaults to. Visitor's choice turns this selection on or off for your client. You can lock them into viewing your portfolios in only one way if you wish. The portfolio background color, by default, you can see we've got it set to black. If you feel that your portfolio images look better with a different background color, you can put that background color in there. Header script and post body script. Most people do not use these. These are for advanced users. They are for plugins that you want to add to your website that you may have gotten from a third party.
Such as hit counters, social media plugins, etc.
Okay, that's all there is to the site settings. Social media. In the social media area, you set up the social medias that you want your website associated with. To add a social media, it's as simple as clicking on Add New, choosing the social media, and then putting in your URL to it. Once you've got your URL in, you save it. I'm going to cancel because I already have all of my social medias built. If you need to change one of them after they're built, click on the gear, move the tutorial, and you can see you can change the URL and then resave it. Moving on to portfolios. Portfolios are examples of your work. To create a portfolio, simply click on Add New. As the tutorial shows here, what you're doing is you're creating the banner that your client or customer will click on to see the images. The name will go underneath the image. The description will go on top of the image, and then this is the image. I'm not going to create one right here because I have several created, but that's how the banner is built.
Also, Thomas, I wanted to point out right here that red asterisk next to the name field indicates a required field, and that is throughout our software.
Good catch, Russ. Also wanted to point out the Music tab. This is where you can choose the music that will play during the display of your portfolio images. The music is divided into categories. You can choose a category, and then you'll see several songs that fit into those categories. All of these songs are royalty-free and free for you to use. To listen to the song, click on the name, and then you can play it, you can turn it up, you can do whatever you need to here. Once you decide whether or not you like it, Putting a check mark to the left of it turns it on for your website. You can turn on multiple musics. If you want to change the order in which they play, it's as simple as changing the sort order. When you hit save, the music will be saved. Once you've created the portfolio, you'll notice that there's a drop-down underneath it for managing the images that will be put into that portfolio. To add images to a portfolio, you click the plus. You'll be presented with a browse where I can add an image. I could also multi-select images and choose open. These images will now upload. When they're uploaded, you'll see the number of images change. To delete images from a portfolio, you click on the little eyeball. This shows all of the images. If you're not sure which one you want to delete, you can double click on the image to see it full, larger screen, and then you can delete it with the red X. I do want to point out the delete with a red X in our system is a permanent delete. Once you click that red X, those images are no longer available. They're gone from the system. That's all there is to the portfolios.
So Thomas, what happens if I delete the entire portfolio, not just the images?
Excellent question. I'm going to delete the entire Grease portfolio here. As you can see, it's now gone. Anything deleted with the delete button, though, can be recovered for up to 7 days. To recover that item, you click on the Include Deleted, click on the gear from the deleted item, and you can tell which one was deleted by the red X, and then undelete it. And it's back. Remember, anything deleted with the delete button has a 7-day recovery period. Anything deleted with the red X is gone permanently right when you click the X. Next, we'll go to the website pages. The website pages are just as easy to create as the portfolios were. It's a simple 2-step process. But here, you can also nest a web page 1 level deep. When you're creating the new page, first of all, select the parent that you want it to have. In this case, if I'm creating a brand new page at top level, I click on All Pages and then Add New. This will create a brand new page at the top level. And you'll see it down here. To create a sub-page or child page, you click on the top level page, then click Add New, and we'll create a sub-page. Notice how it's indented to indicate that it's a sub-page. I'm going to show you what a sub-page looks like on the websites right now. In this particular layout, the sub-page is going to be a slide out. See how it slides out to the right here? That's a sub-page. These others do not have sub-pages. Oh, I take it back. Parent also has multiple sub-pages. That's how you create the pages. To put content on the pages, it's as simple as clicking on this little edit page icon. When you click on it, you're presented with our page editor tools. I always like to start this first one with the page name. Now that the page name is there, I'm going to use the least obvious of our tools. It's the snippets tool, but it's the most powerful tool. This allows you to create a layout that stays responsive on cell phones, tablets, or computers. From the snippets page, I'm going to choose the page layout. Note that there are 3 different types of snippets. I'm starting just with the page layout. When on the page layout, I can insert rows above or below whatever row I am working with. In this case, I'm going to insert 2 two columns in one row below the one that I was working on. I have two now. Now I'm going to insert another row. I'm doing this to illustrate a point. This page that I've now created has a page name, two columns, and then three columns. When this is on a wide screen, you can see exactly how they stack up. When I get to a narrow screen, they stack from top to bottom, where 1 and 2 stayed together, and 3, 4, and 5 stayed together because they were separate rows. 1 and 2 were one row, 3, 4, and 5 were the other row. To put images into these, it's as simple as clicking in them. Using the image tool, I'm going to select from an existing image that I have, and I just put an image in there. For videos, you use the video tool, and then you would get the HTTPS code from YouTube or Vimeo, insert it in here, and hit insert. Then your video is in there. The next item that I wanted to show in the snippets tool still yet are some of the page elements. You'll see there are several here, like link buttons, copyright year, collective event search form, but the Google Map is the most popular one. If I want to put my Google Map in this selected area, I simply click on Apply. Verify that the address is correct and choose Insert. There's the Google Map. All of the page tools work the same way. The last element I wanted to show here was the form element. In the snippets tool, the form elements are pretty straightforward. The email form text box is a simple little short one line. Example. First of all, I have to fill out the form name, contact form. Then the field name. This is what I am asking the final customer to fill out. And I choose whether or not it's required. Now you can see down here that when your customer visits this page, they're going to be prompted for their full name, and it is a required field. I'm going to do another form element. Oops. I'm not going to make this one required. I'm going to add one more type of form element. And this form element is the text area, generally used for comments. I am going to require that. You can now see the comments box. The last thing to make this form work is a submit button. So, one last time, the form submit button. Apply. Form name had to be the same for every one of these fields. The email recipient, that's the email address that this form will be sent to, and then the message that is displayed when the form is submitted. So you really want to verify that that email address is correct. Once you choose OK, your form is complete. That's the most complicated portion of this. Like Russ was saying, you can hover over to see the rest of the tools and what they do. But I do want to point out this archaic looking little save button. It looks like a 3¼ inch floppy, if anybody remembers what those are. I'm going to save the changes. And then I have to exit again. I just created the page.
Let's go take a look at it.
Pretty simple. And on the mobile view, okay, the last step of this tutorial for today is the layouts. This is where it all comes together. We've built all of our elements. We're going to put them together in the layouts. Our system allows you to build multiple layouts. The reason for this is similar to what Google does. When you go to Google, quite often you'll notice that they change their logo and change what happens on the page. By having multiple layouts on our system, it allows you to build seasonal type websites. So your website can look one way during one time of the year and another way during another time of the year. Most people will never do as many layouts as I've done here, but I use this site for testing as well, so I've tested each and every one of our different layout styles. To add a new layout, you simply click on Add New, give it a name, and then choose the date range that you want it to show from. If it's the default layout, it's indicated by a little green check mark down here, and you don't need the dates for those. This is only for a seasonal layout that you need a date. I'm going to make the Valentine's one show from February 8th until February 16th. The next step is the site layout. We have a lot of different layouts to look at. I believe at last count there was more than 260. To select a layout, it's as simple as clicking on the thumbnail. You'll see a larger representation of it, and then you can move on to the next ones. I'm going to choose something that looks a little bit more romantic here because I'm setting up a Valentine's layout. There, Enchanted Cream. You can change the layout at will as many times as you want. The next step, pages. Oh, again, I want to remind you, notice I'm going from tab to tab to tab. You do not need to hit save until you're done with all of the tabs. The reason you can turn pages on or off is specifically because of this feature. You can create a Valentine's special page that you certainly wouldn't want to turn on for your default layout, but you would want to turn it on for your Valentine's layout. That's why you can turn the pages on or off at each layout. Sliders. These are the images that show when you first arrive at your website. You can use as many sliders as you want, but I recommend 10 or less. Most people will not sit through more than that. The sliders are on the layout instead of being on the page because each layout may have different size sliders. As you can see, this slider is 1920 by 1280. If I switch to a different layout, then the sliders switch as well. This is so that the website has the proper look and feel that you want. These dimensions are used by us, and we will crop the images at the time of upload to these dimensions. I browse. I'm going to purposely choose a vertical image, and then I can move it up or down to get the portion of the image that I want, and it will be cropped at this dimension. I'm going to add another one that is horizontal, and notice I can't move it quite as far up and down, but it's still cropping it to this dimension. Music is the next level. Exactly the same as the portfolio music, with one exception. Here you can add your own music. If you had uploaded music, you would be able to select it here and put a sort order on it, the same as if you are doing these. To select the music, same exact way, and put in the sort order. Social. You may have more than one Facebook page. You only want one associated with one layout and one associated with a different layout. This allows you to turn on whichever one you wanted. I'm just going to turn on the top three. The header. By default, this will have your company name in it. To change the text, and keep in mind the header is usually like your logo or your company name. To change it, you click on Edit Text HTML and apply it. If I don't want to do it in text, I can also do it via a logo. I simply choose this. I could drag and drop an image into here, or I could browse to an image that I want to be my logo. I'd apply it, and that would be my logo. Also want to point out the mobile version. Please don't forget the mobile version. Usually you're going to use the same logo, but you might want to use a smaller one or something that looks a little bit better on a cell phone. That's the purpose of having the regular header separate from the mobile header. Also wanted to point out, you could do HTML in here if you know it. This is not a requirement. I just wanted to show that it is available. What I've done is I've made my header text into an H1. That's a highly important tag. And you can see what it really does is it makes it larger. The footer works exactly the way that the header did, where you can edit the text. Lots of times I see people put in their numbers. Then save. When the images are done uploading, you'll see your new theme land in here. That's everything on the website editor. I will point out that we have tech support available here. Contact. If you fill out this form, it will email us and we can help you out. The change language is still being developed. It is not fully functional yet, but we're working on it. That's all I have. Did I miss anything, Russ?
No, Thomas, great job, and I think you covered everything. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope this tutorial has been very helpful for you. We'll see you next tutorial. Bye.